everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I wanted to hop on and do a group call about the 5 things that you can do to help you stay successful on your plant-based diet. So, number one is to know your why. So, understanding your personal motivation, whether it's for health or for the environment or for animal welfare, or maybe it's all three, will ground your commitment and give you a purpose to your choices. So, just staying grounded in your why and let let that guide you in during moments of doubt or in a social pressure situation. So if someone, because sometimes we do face social pressure. So if you feel pressured, remember your why. And I personally try not to make a big deal out of it. I just say something like, I got this from Dr. Doug Lisle, and he says, getting along without going along, and just saying, well, this seems to be working for me, so I think I'll continue on and see how it works out. But right now, this is what's working for me. And what is someone going to say to that? So that's always a good response and good comeback. So that was number one is know your why. And number two is whole foods first. So whole, minimally processed foods provide the essential nutrients, the fiber, and the protective compounds that support long-term health and that our bodies need. So eat lots of veggies, fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. You want to reduce the refined grains, the added sugars, ultra processed vegan products. And um, when you're preparing these whole food ingredients, spice it up by trying new herbs, experiment with herbs and spices to make it more exciting and more flavorful. I know for me, I now cook with a lot of herbs and spices that I didn't ever even try or use before. But so it's kind of a fun learning experience to try new things. Number three is smart meal planning. So a well-planned diet will ensure balanced nutrition. It'll help reduce stress and it'll make it easier for you to stick to your goals. So when you build your meals, you want to build with protein, healthy fats, and complex carbs. And if you'll batch cook and prep ingredients ahead of time, maybe like choose a bean for the week and a couple of grains and prepare a couple of sauces or a dressing, it just makes it so much easier because your base is there. And now you just simply need to put it together in order to eat it. And then plan a few go-to meals. And this has been so crucial for me that you can rely on when you're busy or you're stressed or you're tired. Um, Things that are just super easy to prepare that are contain, staples or ingredients that you normally have on hand. But what my real go-to is I will freeze my leftovers, things like beans and rice, a soup, something like that, so that when I am really busy or I don't feel like cooking, instead of ordering out for something that may not be as healthy, I have a meal that I can simply pull out of the freezer and heat and eat it in the time that it would take me to, place an order, go pick it up or whatever. I can already have be done with my meal and it was healthy and nutritious. So freezing food is a great way to go. Number four is education and label awareness. So many products that are labeled plant-based or vegan aren't always healthy. And knowing how to evaluate those ingredients will empower you to make smarter and better choices. So you always want to read the nutrition labels and the ingredient list carefully. You need to understand the difference between whole food vegan and processed vegan. So the processed things will usually contain lots of salt, oil, sugar, things of that nature that you might not normally cook with. So you want to be sure and check the labels and read the ingredients. And last but not least is community and mindset. And that's something that we've talked about a lot on these calls. Um, the social support and a strong why will help sustain you and keep you motivated. So connect with like-minded people, whether it's online or locally. And, also be active in our community because it's good to have support and like-minded people who understand what you're going through, what you're dealing with, and to swap and share delicious recipes or maybe a new food that you tried out that you liked. So part of mindset is, remember your personal reasons that you're doing it, whether it's health, ethics or environment or all of the above. And be flexible and forgiving with yourself. As we always say, progress matters more than perfection. So if had a bad morning, get back on track at lunch, win the next meal, like we always say. You don't have to wait until tomorrow to start over. You don't have to wait until next Monday. Get back on track with the next meal, and that will help you find success. So, those are 5 tips to help you stay successful on your plant-based journey. I hope it helps, and I hope you all have an awesome week.